Good morning Destiny players and welcome to my first Destiny 2 video. This one's on 3 hunter builds I've been running as of Season of the Seraph. One for Arc, one for Void, and one for Solar. Why no Stasis? I wanted to do a Renewal Grass build, but that got nerfed into the ground and seems no longer viable, so not Stasis yet. I'll probably do a Stasis video when I find one though. If you like the video, subscribe and let me know any suggestions to improve my builds, or any builds for other classes I can try out. Now, let's get into the builds, starting with Arc. Gameplay in the background is on Xbox Series S. Haha. Let's start with an overview of the Arc build. This one is a skip grenade build with Shinobu's Vow, inspired directly from Astacross's own skip grenade build. Link to that in the description. The Shinobu's Vow gives improved skip grenades, an additional skip charge, and any damage dealt by skip grenades gives back grenade energy. Very strong by itself, but this build puts it into overdrive. You can see by the gameplay. You will never need to fire your gun ever with this build, although I use my my crafted foreparents if I need to because it has enhanced ambitious assassin and enhanced chain reaction. In the gameplay I rarely fire a shot though, here's why. For dodge, we have marksman's dodge, as it has the quickest cooldown. For grenade, skips of course. For aspects, we have Tempest Strike. While sliding, you can activate your charge melee to do an uppercut that jolts enemies. And then we have Flow State. Defeating a jolted target makes you amplified, and while amplified, your charge recharges quicker. For fragments, we have Spark of Focus. After sprinting for a bit, your class ability recharges faster. Spark of Amplitude. Rapidly defeating enemies while amplified makes an overpower. Spark of Shock. Your arc grenades jolt targets. This is a big one of the fragments, you'll see why. And last we have Spark of Ions. Defeating a jolted target creates an ionic trace. Has a cooldown of 10 seconds, but that doesn't matter. Now for the armor mods. On the helmet I have it set to Solar with double ashes to assets. Gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. This leads to 1 minute supers if you do it right. Firepower. While charged with light, regain a portion of your grenade energy when you use a grenade, consuming a stack of charged with light. This does stack, which is important. Next, for our gauntlets, we have it set to Void. Double bolstering detonation. Grants class ability energy whenever you deal damage with a grenade. We also have elemental charge on it. Become charged with light by picking up an elemental well. If it matches your subclass energy type, you gain 2 stacks. Oh. For chest piece, we have it set to Solar. Double resist mods and a second firepower mod. For boots, we have them on Solar for double innervation. Picking up an orb grants grenade energy. We also have a third firepower mod. You can see where this is going. For class item, it's set to Solar for double bomber. Reduces grenade cooldown when you use your class ability. We also have elemental ordnance. Killing enemies with a grenade spawns an elemental well that matches your subclass type. Those are the mods, and let's get to stats and then how it plays. For stats, it honestly doesn't matter. You can run tier 1 discipline and the build still works. You can see I have 3 discipline and I'm getting my grenades back all the time. The armor I have is not at all min-max for the build and it still works wonders. If I had more materials, because I have like right now 2 ascendant shards, I'd go for resilience and mobility. You can completely ignore all other stats as this build makes up for it. For how it plays, it's really simple. Throw grenades, dodge a lot, and nab all arc rolls you see. If you don't have a grenade, well, you've messed something up. The build is potent enough to ensure you never run out. Fast supers, infinite grenades, and no need for your silly guns. Next up we have the Void air quotes build I'm running. It's not as focused as a build since I just started using gyrfalcons again after it got buffed for PvE. Not as focused as the other 2 builds I have, but it still somewhat functions. I'll do an updated video on when I find an actual gyrfalcons build I like, because it's gyrfalcons, you don't really need a build. Now let's begin. The enabler for this quality build is Gyrfalcon's Hallberg. It has a paragraph of text that I don't care enough to read, but the big part about it is that emerging from invisibility grants you volatile rounds on your void weapons. That's the big thing about this build. Really all you need is a void weapon and you're good. My weapon of choice is the Unforgiven SMG from the Duality Dungeon. It has Feeding Frenzy and Rampage, so it's good. For supers, it really doesn't matter as long as it's not Spectral Blades. Deadfall or Morbius Quiver, your choice. For dodge, I have Gambler's Dodge to get my smoke bomb back easy. Vortex Grenades because of a fragment we use. For aspects, these are the most important pieces. Vanishing Step, dodging gives you invisibility. Very an easy enabler for volatile rounds, and can refund your melee too. Stylus Executioner, defeating a weakened suppressed or volatile enemy gives invisibility. This is the strongest piece of the puzzle here, you just get infinite invisibility with gyrfalcons. For fragments, Echo of Remnants, lingering grenade effects last longer. Echo of Persistence, void buffs applied to you have longer duration. Longer Invis and longer Devour are the 2 big ones. Echo of Starvation, picking up an orb grants Devour. And the last fragment is really a flex slot so it doesn't matter what you use. For armor mods, we have a solar helmet with ashes to assets. All my builds use that mod on the helmet. We also have harmonic siphon. Rapid final blows with the damage type matching your subclass makes an orb of power. Elemental ordnance. Grenade final blows make an elemental well matching your subclass. For arms, right now I don't have it set in stone, but I have Font of Might, so there you go. Picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass type gives bonus weapon damage for that damage type. For chest piece, we have it set to stasis, double resist mods, and the elemental time dilation mod. Elemental well mods that give time limited benefits now stack, increasing duration for each copy equipped. On boots, we have them on void for better already, where you start health regen when you pick up an orb of power. We also have insulation, reduce class ability cooldown when you pick up an orb of power. There's also Reaping Wellmaker. After activating your class ability, your next weapon kill makes a void elemental well. For a class item, we have it on solar for a double bomber, of course, and a second Font of Might mod. For stats, I just went an even spread of mobility, resilience, and discipline. Until I find another build that works better than what I'm going for, that's how I have my stats. As for how it plays, gyrfalcon's is absolutely cracked. You get infinite invisibility for little to no effort. The rest is just gravy on top. Now let's get into the final build, the solar one. This build is centered around young Kara's spine, increased trip mine duration and blast radius. Ability energy grants trip mine energy. Any ability, by the way. For weapons, pick your favorite incandescent primary. Mine is Drang. You can also use stuff like Callus Mini Tool or even the BXR. For super, we went with Blade Burger. Yes, that's what the channel was originally named after. For dodge, Gamblers, as it gives your melee back. For melee, Knife Trick. Landing all 3 knives of this ability fully refunds a trip mine, so it's very strong. For grenade, of course we gotta run the trip mine, obviously. For our aspects, we have Gunpowder Gamble. Defeating targets with anything solar builds up a charge for a much larger trip mine that can be shot mid-air. Be careful with it, it can kill you. Next we got On Your Mark, purely for the 3 fragment slots it grants. Precision kills grants you and nearby allies better reload and handling. For fragments, Ember of Char. Solar Ignition spreads scorch to nearby targets. Yes, it works with Incandescent from what I've seen. Ember of Eruption. Solar Ignitions have an increased area of effect. Ember of Blistering. Defeating targets with solar ignitions gives grenade energy. And Ember of Ashes. You apply more scorched stacks to targets. Now, for the armor mods. For helmet, it's the exact same as the void one. On solar with ashes to assets, harmonic siphon, and elemental ordnance. For gauntlets, we have them on stasis for grenade kickstart. When you use a grenade, you gain back grenade energy. We also have a second copy of Elemental Ordnance, you'll see why. For chest piece, the element really doesn't matter. Double resist mods and Font of Might. For legs, we have them on solar for Enervation. Reduce grenade cooldown each time you pick up an Armor Light. Recuperation, gain health whenever you pick up an Armor Light. And we also have a third copy of Elemental Ordnance. Class item is on solar for Double Bomber, of course, and Bountiful Wells. Elemental well mods that cause you to make elemental wells will now stack, making additional wells for each copy of the mod. With this setup, each grenade kill we get makes 4 wells, giving back a whopping 40% of our energy back. For stats, I prioritized resilience. Didn't really need discipline, but I got a lot of discipline too. Discipline isn't super necessary, but it's just in case you miss your grenade. As for how it plays, it is very fun. One grenade has a chance to grant a quarter of your super easily and give you Gunpowder Gamble. It's a very fun build for rapid supers and a very large spam of grenades. Wow, I have 3 grenade builds, go figure. Near constant grenades and Font of Might uptime. The only flaw is actually missing your grenade entirely, which has happened to me quite a bit. This is a very strong build, definitely have fun with it. And those are the builds I'm rocking for Season of the Seraph. If you enjoyed the Destiny video, drop a like. If you have any build ideas, let me know. Thank you all for watching. Join my Discord. See you all in the next one. Blade Burger out.